You're still watching Cairo Local Time, and over the same topic, very delighted to be having with us Dr. Ahmad Mostafa, Professor of International Relations. Good afternoon, Dr. Mostafa.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Would you speak up, please? Raise up your voice.
Okay, how are you?
Right, very delighted to have you. Of course, we were embarking over the participation of Egypt upon the directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and of course represented by the Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati during that summit in Africa. And he stressed, he gave a very important statement. Amongst the highlights of his words was the continent's health security that depends on its ability to locally produce medicine and vaccines maybe, and to reduce the excessive reliance on foreign sources. And he also made it clear that the health crisis have proven that local manufacturing is no longer a developmental option but a strategic necessity. And Egypt is a big example of that. We have succeeded in manufacturing the virus C medicine, finding that cure, and is going to export it to everywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's totally true, because, you know, since Egypt started, you know, the campaign in 2014 anti-hepatitis virus C, and by the beginning of 2023, and I was witnessing such events, the WHO itself, representative of the Emirate office in Cairo, the Mediterranean office in Cairo, already announced that Egypt managed just to eradicate virus C totally from Egypt by its own, you know, industrialization of the vaccine. And this is, of course, a matter that has like a direct and indirect impact on the socio-economic life of the Egyptian people, because most of the Egyptians, and because of the higher humidity level, especially in the north of Egypt and Delta, were exposed to virus C, because most of them, they were working as peasants before in the farms and fields and so on. And this matter were affecting difficultly on, you know, the performance of the Egypt and the economic, you know, production and so on. Therefore, according to such issue, and according to the strategy that Egypt already adopted since 2014, Egypt, you know, managed just to put such issue under control. And of course, this experience, and of course, the matter also of decent life, this project that's also implemented by 2016 or 17, also managed to eradicate the poverty level of millions of people, especially in the most needy, you know, rural areas and so on. And such experiences could be imported or exported to the other African countries, just to help the matter of the development and just to reduce the reliance on the Western or the foreign, you know, vaccines that already making a greater indebtedness on the African countries that already suffering from economic, you know, instability in the performance and so on.
The foreign minister also gave hinted to a point that might come to the interest of all the members of the African Union there in that same summit. He said that the Egyptian Drug Authority is the first body in Africa to achieve the level 3 maturity from the World Health Organization, the WHO, and that is in regulating medicines and vaccines, ongoing progress towards level 4. So what is the implication of that phrase?
The implication that first, Egypt is one of the best countries worldwide just to put like a plan and just to carry out this plan with 100% success. That gives like a greater, you know, reputation for Egypt in such experience that belongs to the socio-economic and the health and the lower mortality level, not just in the region in Africa, but maybe in the world. Number two, the non-reliance on the Western or the foreign, you know, medicines or vaccines and so on. And also, if we start, you know, exporting such, you know, vaccines to the African countries in the proper rates and so on, I think we will have this win-win equation in that respect, because the African countries will, you know, get the proper vaccine that may, you know, heal and cure the people properly in a short time, because these vaccines and, you know, the medicine already taken from 3 to 6 months for the viability. Number two, Egypt will get, of course, a good income from, the collection of the revenue of exporting such vaccine in this regard. It was not the first time, because you know that China, during the pandemic of COVID-19, they already incorporated the various vaccine factory in Egypt, and just to be like the biggest access to Africa in this regard. And once we can use such facility or plants to reduce the other, vaccines and so on, I think also it will be like a good income for the Egyptian, economy, and will reflect positively on our prosperity and so on.
Does that mean that Egypt is completely ready to place our expertise at the service of the continent, the whole continent? In order to be enhancing the products and accelerating the sustainable local production?
I think yes, because Egypt, not just on the level of the pharmacy or the pharmaceutical products, but also in the other ways, because we have the proper financial infrastructure, we have the best manpower, we are producing a lot of the high-tech products. And don't forget, the last year that China already incorporated, or via the past year, China incorporated several plants for the home appliances, for the mobile phones, and for the technology and so on. Therefore, you can transfer all such technology needed in Africa in this regard, as well as, that China previously and Turkey currently, Turkey are establishing also another plant for the electric vehicles. And of course, Egypt is the biggest access for this. Therefore, we have an opportunity also just to compete with the other countries, because Morocco, it was the main exporters of the vehicles to Africa, but we have like an advantage in this regard, because we are producing the EVs, and EVs is a low emission, and it helps in the vision of 2030 and the vision of for the whole Africa 2060, just a low emission and keep the environment clean as possible, and that will help in the matter of slowing the climate change and so on. And therefore it will have like a greater developmental and sustainable objective for the prosperity and for the socio-economic life of the African people as well.
Right. How important is it to facilitate the intra-African trade, especially in pharmaceutical products, within the framework of the African continental, the free trade area? We know about the continental free trade area, and even the foreign minister even pointed out to that point.
First, it gives us the privilege because we are an African country. And not only that, we have the testimony, as I mentioned, and as you after that repeated, of the WHO, the biggest specialized organization in this regard that belongs to the United Nations. Number three, we have the know-how. Therefore, we are not impacted by like an importer and so on. Number four, we can afford such, vaccines or, such medicines or whatsoever in a proper rate to the African people. Number four, as long as it is going to be like a mass production, you will also employ a greater manpower in your vaccine factories and so on. Therefore, also it will have like unemployment, reduction. Therefore, it will have like a lot of, mutual benefits between Egypt, the founder of the African unity, and if you remember, since the time of leader Jamal Abdel Nasser so far. And number two, it will also make and restore the greatest role of Africa one more time via, this matter of, producing and offering, the lower rate vaccines for the other African countries in that respect. Therefore, it has also a strategic impact on Africa in this regard, because it will not, because as long as we have this free trade, zone throughout Africa, also the matter of the customs and the other related issues will be reduced to the minimum. Therefore, it will be more facilities and more greater impact and positive impact on the African citizens in this regard. And this is exactly what Egypt needs in this time period.
Right. Generally speaking, yes, we all know that Egypt is the gateway to the whole African continent and could be a bridge of communication investment-wise and trade-wise when it comes to communication or partnerships between Africa and other countries of the globe. So how this could be able to enhance the pharmaceutical trade probably, or the exportation of the vaccines that Egypt have succeeded in manufacturing here ever since COVID-19, and also the virus C medicine that was approved and highly hailed by the WHO recently.
This is what we said before. It will facilitate a lot the free trade African zone will facilitate a lot the matter of the mutual trade between Egypt from one side and the African countries from the other side. Also, it will enhance the Egyptian positioning inside Africa as before. Also, via the mutual scientific research between maybe the universities of Egypt, like Cairo University, Alexandria University, and Shams University, with the other, African universities. It will enhance the role of Egypt academically. It will also give Egypt more exposure in scientific, publication and so on within Africa. That will highlight and will, increase the scientific role of Africa one more time, which is like also it's considered a kind of the soft power again, like the media, like things like that. Therefore, scientific research is not less than such, media or publications or TV programs and so on, like before. But we need just to enhance such base, especially the mutual scientific research, the mutual, student exchange between Egypt and the African countries. We can adopt a lot of, scholars from Africa, as we are doing here in Egypt, in this regard, just to recognize the country and so on. I think all of this is like good factors for Egypt, and having this win-win equation between Egypt on one side and African countries on the other side.
Right. On that note, Dr. Ahmad Mostafa, Professor of International Relations, thank you so much for talking to us in Cairo local time.